This is the video lesson for Algebra 2, Unit 6, Lesson 2. And this lesson is expanding on the polynomial discussion and lesson from Lesson 1. And we're going to be doing multiplication and division of polynomials. And so most of the first 6 questions or so are going to be vocabulary. So you're just going to want to take a careful reading of the lesson for that, for these answers up here. But then we get down to the actual meat of the lesson, which is going to be 7 through the end. And the first 2 questions are similar concept. They are dealing with what we call a monomial, a single term, times polynomials, multiple terms in this second part. So I'm just going to kind of work through a few problems that are similar to what you have in front of you. And I will post the images of the work on the lecture notes on the Google Classroom. So let's say we have something like this, 2 times 7b plus 3. So this is, again, a monomial, 2 times 7b plus 3, and this is where we're going to be using the distributive property. The distributive property is property where we take whatever numbers in the front and we multiply it times the numbers that are inside the parentheses, and that becomes our final answer. So we're going to be doing 2 times 7b. 2 times 7 is 14b. The b doesn't change. And then we do 2 times 3, and that's 6. And so this would be the final answer for that problem, 14b plus 6. So that's more or less what you're doing in number 7. Number 8, not much different. It just takes you to more terms, and it introduces a variable in the beginning. So let's say we had something like this. 3x times 4 a b, let's go back, 4a squared plus 3ab minus 6b squared. So let's say this was our problem here. So we would be then distributing the 3x throughout the problem. We're going to be multiplying it times each one of these terms and then writing out our entire answer. So 3x times 4a squared. So we're going to multiply like things. So 3 and 4 are both constant terms, so that becomes 12. And then the variables can't be dealt, nothing can be done with those. So we're literally going to rewrite a and a squared and x. We're going to do the same thing in each term. 3 times 3 is 9. A, B, X, none of those go together, so we're going to write it like that. Minus, again, 3 times 6 is 18. And then x, b squared, so we're going to do b squared x. I just tend to put the variables in alphabetical order. And so then that would be our final answer there. And that's going to be what you're doing in number 7 and number 8. Let's add another drawing here. I will save this. And we'll do a new drawing. So after that, they take it up yet another level. So in the next problem, you have a term that is 2 terms times a term that is 3 terms. So let's just do this. Let's make this one up. 4x squared minus 2x plus 5. All right, so if this was our problem, again, I'm going to be looking to distribute the 2x to everything, and then I'm going to distribute the 3 to everything. So I'm going to do this twice. So I'm going to try to write this all out as 1 and see what we can come up with here. So 2x times 4x squared. So I'll just write a row here that kind of shows what's happening. 4x squared. And then 2x times negative 2x. And notice I'm taking this with me. And then plus 2x times 5. So that's just what's in yellow. That's what I'm saying up here, the 2x times each term. Then we have to do the same thing with the 3. So I'm going to write that as well. So we'll have 3 times 4x squared plus 3 times negative 2x plus 3 times 5. So I've multiplied the 3 times each one of these terms. Not that. And so now we need to go ahead and get down to our answer. So we'll work these out right here first. Not sure if I left myself quite enough space, but let's see if we can do this. So we're going to write all of these answers together. So we're going to have 2 times 4 is 8x to the third, because 2 times 4, and then x times x2. There's a 1 here, so 1 and 2 make 3. 2 times negative 2, so that's going to be minus 4x squared. That's because 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. Then we have plus 2 times 5 is 10x. Let me move to our next row. So this has all been done. And we go to the next one. Plus 3 times 4 is 12x squared. Done. 3 times negative 2 is minus 6x. That's done. And then 3 times 5 is 15. Then it's just a matter of seeing if there's any terms that can be combined between what we have down there. And we can see this 8x to the third and the 15, nothing goes with them. So they can't be combined with anything. However, I see here I have 4x squared, 12x squared. That's a minus 4 plus 12 gives me plus 8x squared. And then I have 10x minus 6x. So that gives me plus 6x squared. So you can see the kind of process that we took. We multiplied the terms in the first part of the expression times each term in the second, and then multiplied each one of those and added them until I came up with the final answer right there. So this is our final answer. And that is it for that one. So let's go back. All right, so that's going to get you number 9. And then we have 2 where we're dividing polynomials. So now we're moving on to division. So let's talk about how we divide. So dividing is very similar. So if you have something like this, let's say I have 12x to the fourth over 3x to the third. We're just dividing things that go together. So this problem can be thought of as 12 divided by 3 and x to the fourth over x to the third. You can think of it that way, but you don't really need to. So we're just going to do it all at once. 12 divided by 3 is 4. X to the fourth divided by x to the third. Well, when you have this, think of it as x times x times x times x over x times x times x. And we are canceling out 1, 2, 3 of those, leaving me with just 1x. And so this will be the final answer for x. And then in here, they ask if the answer is a polynomial. In order for it to be a polynomial, you just need to know that there are no x's or any kinds of variables in the denominator. So there's 2 main things. So is it a polynomial? So there's 2 qualifications. No negative exponents, and there can be no variable in the bottom of the fraction. And so this one is yes. This one is a polynomial. All right. Let's do another one. And talk about what happens when I have multiple terms. Multiple terms being divided by a term. So let's say I have like 21 x to the fourth plus 15x squared minus 6x. Should erase a little bit there. Sorry about that. I'm going to erase this. 6x plus 2 divided by 3x. So when that happens, you're going to do this as 4 individual problems. It's going to be 21x to the fourth over 3x plus 15x squared over 3x. Notice each one is getting its own 3x plus 2 over 3x. So we're going to work through each one of these individually. And let's get some orange in here. Okay. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 4 minus 1 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 2 divided by, again, an imaginary 1 is just 1x. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and the x's cancel out. Now, this one is interesting because you'll notice these do not divide evenly. 2 divided by 3x doesn't work. So all you have to do, don't have to do anything. You just rewrite like that. And that's the final answer. Again, is it a polynomial? In this case, it is not a polynomial, and I made a mistake, so I'm going to go fix that. This should say 2 divided by 3x, and because there is an x in the denominator, it is no, not a polynomial. All right. I'm going to pause this video now and pick up with part 2 here shortly.